Hey everybody, in this episode we're talking about how to reclaim the holiday spirit and celebrate major milestones, even if you're stuck in the hospital, dealing with a health crisis, or navigating grief. We'll also talk about ways you can support people who are going through these types of seasons during the holidays. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm here joined with 𝗪𝗵𝘁.
Hey, hello.
Great to have you back in the studio.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
And I have to say, I love what you're wearing.
Say likewise. I'm digging your Star Wars Christmas sweater as well.
Why, thank you. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can tell that we're wearing our Star Wars Christmas sweaters. They're not ugly, though. I know they call them ugly Christmas sweaters.
They're beautiful.
But I think they
are.
Au
contraire.
We have our light-up holiday necklaces, Christmas lights that my mom got for us, and matching Santa hats. Well, mine has some sequins. Yours does not.
Kind of jealous of your sequins. Sequin envy.
Hat envy. Well, in a more serious note, we want to start off with Thomas's health highlight.
I started taking an oral chemotherapy a couple weeks ago, and I'm tolerating it well so far.
Yay.
I was warned that, it might give you sores on your hands and feet.
To the point where, you'd have to wear gloves all the time, and walking would be really painful.
It's always something with these drugs. It's like, the mucous membranes in your body might slough off. Yeah, so far, no sores on my hands or feet.
High five.
Keep that going. My platelets are steadily increasing, so I'm starting to be able to create scabs again and not bleed for long amounts of time. I've usually been playing it pretty safe, not messing around with knives and such.
You stopped your knife juggling.
Right, put that on hold.
But actually, your counts are going up, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe I won't have to wait till the spring.
In other news, he's also back to bike riding, which has been really cool. Your platelets had to be, I believe, at 75 or 100 in order to be biking again. And so you are now at almost 100 platelets.
Almost there.
So his doctors said to go for it. While your platelets are increasing, your lymphocytes, or the part of his immune system that protects you from respiratory viruses, that is still developing, still quite low. And so we're having to be cautious in terms of socializing and how often we're able to see people, all the rules that go along, which I know you just love those rules. Those are your favorite. So this episode certainly resonated with us last year, right after transplant, with all the things you have to go through in the first 100 days. And because Thomas had graft-versus-host disease and a relapse of cancer, we're still having to do all these protocols. So this is very near and dear to our heart in terms of how do you still have Christmas spirit when you have all of these restrictions? So that's what we're going to dive into today.
Yep, looking forward to it. Let's do it. So we're both very into festivities and holidays.
If you couldn't tell from our attire.
Yeah, we dress up for whatever holiday we can. Dress up like leprechauns on St. Patrick's or rabbit outfits for Easter. Not quite, but maybe someday. Anyways, we were riding she just mentioned our bikes, our e-bikes, which I should say are way more fun than regular bikes.
Yes, we're
I don't know
spoiled.
if that makes me a poser, but whatever. I've had cancer, so leave me alone. So we were taking our e-bikes out for a spin. It was getting towards dusk, and everybody we passed was just smiling at us and super happy and waving and
winking.
Yeah. I was like, wow, they're really encouraging us to work out and spend time outside. That's great.
Filled with the Christmas spirit. I was very encouraged.
Yeah. And then we stopped for some water and I looked down and realized we've had this string of lights on this whole time.
Flashing light necklaces. Yep.
Yeah, these light
Christmas
necklaces.
Light necklaces.
It's it makes a bit more sense now.
Yes.
Why everyone was smiling so much at us. Humanity's still great. I won't say that it's not, but it makes sense now with the light around our neck.
It was neat to see how just a little festive spirit could connect people, and we could have these little, smiles or small micro interactions. That was really neat to have that shared joy and shared experience. So I recommend. I believe this was Fred Meyer's, but Santa hat, some kind of necklace. It was fun to connect with people in that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So that desire to find joy, to spread joy in the middle of a health journey is why we started these kind of hospital hacks, these things we're going to talk about, but certainly they go beyond the hospital. We had the opportunity to be interviewed by Leukemia Lymphoma Society, which is now, they go by Blood Cancer United.
Blood Cancer United.
Not to be confused with Manchester United. But it was great. We got to chat with them and we got to share some of these tips. So we thought that we would share that, all the things that we discussed with our listeners as well. We have some other things that we go into that we won't cover in this episode, so I'll be sure to put that link to that interview if you are interested. All right, so before we dive into our hospital hacks, how do you feel about me talking about grief and holding space for that?
I think it's super appropriate.
I think it's important to discuss.
Especially this year,
Yeah, I mean, I know we have our Santa hats and our fun little necklaces. And yet, to be very transparent with you and honest, as many of you know, Thomas's mom passed away in September from her pancreatic cancer. And so we certainly are still grieving, and we have just this mixture, this both and. We have moments where we're laughing and watching your mom's favorite Christmas movie and having so much joy and good memories. And then we will see a picture of her on our photo frame, and it will bring tears to our eyes because we miss her so deeply. And you were mentioning the other day how hard it is that you won't be able to have another conversation with her on this side of heaven.
Yeah, it just hits me every now and then. I have little grief attacks, like I think most people do,
Grief attacks, grief bursts. David Kessler calls them just like a burst of grief that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just pops up and you just kind of got to roll with it. But I think overall that picture frame that flashes through photos of her when she was younger and all that, it's been really therapeutic, I think.
I would say so.
It reminds us of her life and the good old days and all the fun things we did with her even after her diagnosis. In the last couple of years, we went on a few trips together to Disney destinations, and seeing those pictures always brings a smile on my face. But now and then they bring a tear to my eye too.
Yeah, so that's important. We wanted to note that acknowledging the holidays can be intensely challenging or painful when you deal with loss or illness. We wanted to acknowledge that at least. And there can be these little micro reminders, especially around the holidays, if it's the smell of gingerbread or watching, a Christmas movie that this person that you love so much enjoyed. That can be a little micro reminder and maybe a trigger for a grief burst. David Kessler, who is the author of Finding Meaning, I'm reading his work right now. He's a wonderful grief expert. He talks about how grief is really the loss of anything. It can be a loved one. It can also be a sense of normalcy or what your life was like before diagnosis. And so that's been really powerful to think about the fact that grief, so often we associate that when someone passes away. And also when you acknowledge, oh, wow, I'm grieving the life I once knew. I think it puts it in a different framework. Like, okay, yeah, I can hold space for this. Grief is real because there is a loss of something in my life, like maybe your health, or if you're on a cancer journey, what your life used to be like. So the feeling of loss of any kind is real. And we have some actionable advice or things that we're keeping in our mind that our grief counselor has taught us. I asked her, what are her top things that she recommends that people think about as they move into the holidays if they're grieving someone? Number one, she says, be kind to yourself and be kind on your expectations of yourself. She said, it's our expectations of ourselves that get us in the most trouble. So if you expect yourself to still send out Christmas cards and still, bake cookies for everyone, whatever it is that you used to do outside of this, grief season, really just maybe set those expectations aside, really have open hands and just be kind to yourself. If your friend was grieving, you wouldn't say, I can't believe you haven't done the Christmas cards, or I can't believe you haven't written thank you cards to people, because on my heart, I know there's so many thank you cards we want to write to people. Thank you. If you are one of those people who have blessed us in the last year and a half and we have not written you a thank you card, just know you're on our hearts. We thank you. This is our
so thankful.
This is our thank you, this podcast episode. And so sometimes for folks who are going through a challenging season like we are, just that expectation of not getting thank you cards out, it's okay. Hold space for that. And all of our friends might be getting a very belated thank you card. Number two is plan ahead. So if Christmas is going to be really hard, have a plan in place to help yourself, whether it's, okay, I know how I'm going to have some healthy coping strategies, or, this particular aspect of the holiday season might be too challenging for us to integrate at this point. Just holding space for that, having a plan, having backup plans. Okay, if that doesn't go through, what are we going to do next? And then letting people know what you need. David Kessler, in a recent interview with 𝗪𝗵𝘁, said, keep in mind the threes. And this is for people, who maybe are coming alongside someone who's grieving. And 𝗪𝗵𝘁 asked David Kessler, she said, what do you recommend to people who know this person in my life is going through a challenge, or this person is grieving a loss? He said, remember the threes. 3 days after someone passes away, or a really, acute crisis, 3 weeks, and then 3 months later. And I think so often it's that first week when someone passes away where people come alongside and you're getting the flowers and the cards and all the love pouring out, which is so beautiful. I know we certainly appreciate that and appreciated that. Sure. And also he highlights the importance of, okay, 3 weeks later, check in with these people. And then 3 months later, really that 3-month mark, and we're almost at that point, can be really hard because the first couple months you're going through the shock of it, and then all of the kind of the executor type things, all the paperwork. So your brain's really occupied by those type of tasks. But then when you get to a point where a lot of those things are checked off, then you're just sitting with your grief, and it's like, wow, the quiet kind of can seep in. And so it's been really neat how people have continued to reach out to us, and that 3-month mark is big.
Really appreciate it, guys.
Yes. My mom is here. She's in her quarantine period. Speaking of social quarantine guidelines, she flew from Florida to be here for the holidays with us.
I looked outside and you guys were bundled up to go on a walk, and it looked like you were about to climb Everest.
Yes, we're both cold. We're both prepared. What is it? There's no bad weather. There's just bad clothing. So
that's right.
We're going to walk in any kind of weather. But yes, certainly. Awesome. So much love and gratitude we have for the people who keep checking in on us. And if you have people in your life that you know who are going through a hard time, check in on them. Even if it's been a few months, they might be in a space where they really need a check-in.
Yeah.
Or a little love. All right. Now that we've touched on grief, let's dive into our hospital hacks. Okay. Should we call them hospital hacks? Holiday hacks? Holiday tips? I feel like
holiday hospital hacks. How much of an alliteration do we want to get out of this? How many H's do we want to throw at it?
Happy holiday.
We can keep adding more.
Happy holidays.
We must add more.
Okay, we'll shelf that for now. We'll cut that out of the episode. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is bringing celebration of home into the hospital room, or truly wherever you are in life, right? So we're back home in our house. Thank goodness. We're so grateful that we are back in our house. And it doesn't necessarily feel quite like home or quite like how it used to, since your mom's not here with us. And since we're not able to have people over like we normally would. So how do you bring a sense maybe of home if you're in the hospital, or a sense of normalcy in the context of folks who are in their homes, but it feels a little different? There's a quote from Lord of the Rings. This is from the Fellowship of the Ring.
Nice.
We'll see how many points I get for this. It is no bad thing to celebrate a simple life.
Now, who said that?
That was Bilbo.
I'm so proud of you, baby.
Thank you. It's not even in the notes. I just remembered it.
Yeah.
We were watching Fellowship of the Ring the other day, and it was just so good. Every once in a while, you just need the fellowship in your life, I think. So we started watching that. And when Bilbo said, it's no bad thing. Can you do it in the voice?
No bad thing to celebrate a simple life.
That's like before his birthday celebration, right? In the movie or book. I really love that because it just made me think, it's these simple moments that it's just amazing to celebrate them, to be so aware of them. I think that's the thing that cancer can certainly do. It's what it's done for us, is like, sunsets are sweeter. Everything has so much more weight to it because you realize just how precious life is. I almost started crying the other day. We were making the bed and I was like, passing you one of the 15 decorative pillows to put on the bed. And I just had these tears in my eyes. Like, are you okay? And I just said, I love making the bed with you. Like, it's one of these simple little things. It is no bad thing to celebrate the simple things in life. There's also the foreboding joy of like, that feeling of, oh my gosh, you're my person. And I can't imagine not making the bed with you or not having you in my life. So they call that anticipatory grief. So that is its own grief burst that can come in these types of situations. I think that really taking a moment, savor things, be like, oh, I love making the bed with you. This is so great. We do that now.
Yeah, just the ordinary moments.
Ordinary moments.
It seems like we're always chasing the extraordinary. But those ordinary things that we miss the most, I think, when it comes down to it.
Like with your mom, of course we loved going on the Disney trips and all of the amazing epic things we would do. And yet it's the ordinary things like sending her a text, just saying, how was your day?
Right.
Or dropping off something from Fred Meyer's. Even if she didn't feel like hanging out, just knock on the door, wave through the window. It's like a tiny little, like a wave means a lot. Or she would always send funny animal GIFs. I mean, it's these little things that, the simple things that are beautiful that you can celebrate, take delight in. Lori Santos from the Happiness Lab talks about bringing to mind, savoring, these simple things in life. And you can do it by saying the word delight. And you can even put your finger out and say delight. And it's just like a little gesture, a little, cue to your brain of, oh, I'm taking delight in this thing. It's a form of mindfulness and it's a form of gratitude. And so it's kind of fun. I don't think we've been saying delight, but we've been doing this thing.
We went through a good delight phase though.
We had our delight
couple months,
era.
We were delight. Everything's delightful.
Yes.
It was a delightful time.
It was. Another thing that we do sometimes, I did this today. We were watching church online. We can't go in person yet, but we were watching online. And I did the Jim and Pam wedding thing. I think Pam did it to Jim, where she, you take your hands and like you pretend to take a picture. And it's like a little mental snapshot. Like, I want to remember this little memory, this little moment.
Oh, I blinked.
Yeah, take it again. We say that. But yeah, I took a little mental snapshot. We were sitting on the couch and Kitty was on Thomas's lap or next to you on the couch. And I was trying to think of, okay, what are we going to have for communion? Because we always choose some kind of random food item. Our church does communion every week. And so we do it with them. And we find crackers or Oreos, or I think we did
leftover lasagna,
hard-boiled eggs once.
Anything really. Yeah.
It was one of those simple moments where I was like, I'm taking delight in this. Back to our hacks. If you are in the hospital, here is our first hack. This is to decorate your space. So the goal of this first tip is to transform your sterile room for comfort and normalcy. So something that we did is we decorated for all the major holidays and milestones. We had your birthday, we had your transplant birthday. When you have a stem cell transplant, the day that you get your stem cells is your transplant birthday. So I had balloons and decorations in your room to really make that feel special. Another thing you can do for this, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can go to the Dollar Tree or you can go to Target and get little, decorations to put in the room. Dollar Tree is great for that. Target is my happy place and it's a form of self-care. So I loved any excuse to go out and, spread a little cheer. And this is something that you can do if you're not in the hospital, but someone that you love is, you can show up with a little box full of decorations and
little fake plants or whatever.
Fake plants. If it's Christmas time, little lights or tinsel or whatever it is. Yeah, fake poinsettias. We have one here in our office. So that's something you can do just to add some brightness. Our nurse called our room the Hobby Lobby room. It was one of the nicest compliments I've ever received. So yeah, decorating your space, making it feel warm and inviting. Maybe if you don't like Hobby Lobby, that might have caused some stress. So whatever the equivalent would be in your mind, make it a place where it can cause some happiness, some feelings of joy. The research shows that when you are in a space where there's coziness or comforting items, it allows your body to heal more effectively because you are in that rest and digest type situation. Is that parasympathetic or sympathetic nervous system?
Think of a parachute slowing down.
And now I know. I have not found the proper
parasympathetic. Yeah.
Okay, now I have a good mind picture. Thank you, good sir. We never had the pleasure, but decorating your IV pole like a Christmas tree. Our friends from the Michael and Mom Talk Cancer show, they said they did this, and that is so amazing. Yeah. So yes, next time. Hopefully you're not going to be in a hospital.
I hope I never have to do that. Yeah, but we got it in the tool belt.
We know what to do if it ever happens.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Hack number 2 is sharing seasonal treats. This is something that we learned from my cousin's wife.
Shelby, shout out to Shelby.
Yeah, she's awesome. But she told us your nurses will love you if you just have a little bowl of candy in your room. And we thought, well, everyone loves Reese's, right? And so whatever holiday Reese's have been out at whatever time in the year that we were inside the hospital, we would have a little bowl full of that type of Reese's, whether it's jack-o'-lanterns or ghosts or eggs or...
I'll put a picture of our candy care team dish on our YouTube video.
We had a lot of frequent flyers that would come in and enjoy the little treats we were putting out for them. And it seemed to bring morale up, a little bit as well. When your team enjoys being in your room with you, it's a more healing environment, I think.
Yeah, people had shared they enjoyed coming into our hospital room. We had the treats, certainly, and then also we had this kind of nice ambiance, this music playing from like a YouTube lo-fi type video. We'll put a link in the show notes to some of our favorite YouTube videos that we would have just kind of playing in the background on our hospital
chill.
TV.
Yeah, very nice.
Really calming. So creating a space not just for yourself, but create a sanctuary for your care team that when they do come into your room, it is a nice place for them to be.
Yeah, for sure.
A note about treats too. At first we had the bowl kind of over on the other side of the room. It was near what was it?
Well, it was like on my nightstand, wasn't it?
We had one on his nightstand, and people did not go over there as often. I would try to encourage them. Oh, we have treats over here. But what we did is we got this little dresser or this little shelf thing, and we put it by the front door of our hospital room. So when someone would step in, it was like right there for them.
Right.
And as soon as we moved the dish over there, like, people started using it and grabbing candies.
Otherwise, it just looked like I was eating a bunch of Reese's in bed all the time.
Yep.
Which, whatever. That's what insulin's for. They're going to come back and give me a little shot here and there. Whatever. It's fine.
One last thing I would say is my friend Barbara, she is amazing. And her advice to me was whenever you're going through a hard time, like a really challenging time, like when Thomas was put on a pain pump and had mucositis and I was calling her in a really hard space, she said, you need to do something kind for someone else. Like it instantly takes you out of this space of focusing inward on this discomfort, not in a toxic positivity way, but to acknowledge, wow, this is hard. And how can I look outward and help someone? And that really has a lot of psychological benefits. Research shows that it truly is helpful when you help others. So if you're in your hospital room and you're having all this discomfort, having a little jar of candy and being able to say, please help yourself to people, that's like little micro doses of giving and of kindness. And it does a lot for you. I think even affecting your immune system due to the fact that you have that mental boost.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to tip number 3?
We shall.
Number 3 is to create coziness with ambiance. So the idea is you want to change your room's atmosphere from sterile to more of a peaceful. And we kind of already mentioned this, having that, peaceful music going on in the background. We played
Feel home.
Yeah, you want to feel like home. We played YouTube kind of winterscapes. We had a crackling fireplace scene just to kind of escape the hospital environment. So that's something that's really helpful. We had our Apple TV plugged into the hospital setup HDMI outlet.
Yeah. And a lot of these TVs, I'd venture to say every one of them actually has HDMI plugins. So we just had to kind of bring our own gear though. We brought an Apple TV streaming device and an HDMI and the power for the Apple TV. But there are so many other streaming devices you can go out and get and bring with you to the hospital and set it up in your room. There's Fire Stick, that's the Amazon one. There's Roku, that's another one. There's Chromecast, that's Google. There's so many options out there, and you don't have to break the bank to do it. Some of those things are like $30 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hack number 4 is dress for the occasion. Yes, Exhibit A. Exhibit B.
We're pointing to our sweaters.
We knew if we were going to do a December episode, we'd have to bust out the sweaters for sure.
A holiday hacks video. I mean, you have to.
Can't not.
The
really.
goal of this hack is to lift spirits and inject a sense of humor or fun. So during the different hospital stays, we dressed up for Halloween. We were 𝗪𝗵𝘁 warehouse workers. We had our fake mustaches that, if you know The Office, they dress up as warehouse workers and they have these fake mustaches. We put them over our masks. We had to wear a mask on the bone marrow transplant floor. So as we would walk around, we would have our little fake mask on, our fake mustache rather, and it would make people laugh. We even did it after Halloween. Like costume was gone, but we kept wearing those masks with mustaches, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, we really did it for us.
Yes.
Because we knew we were in the midst of a serious situation. I think like walking around doing that, we're happy that everyone else was getting a kick out of it. But ultimately, if it was just you and me, I think we'd still do it.
Also, for New Year's Eve, my mom was amazing. She flew to Portland to help take care of us. Thomas's cancer, his leukemia came back as central nervous system leukemia. This was on Christmas night. That's when I found out on my chart. It was like one of the worst feelings I've ever experienced. It was almost New Year's Eve, and Thomas spiked a neutropenic fever. So you had to go to the ER. We were there for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and my mom got us these really cool New Year's Eve hats, and she brought 𝗪𝗏𝘁's, and we asked, it was your night nurse. I said, do you have a bottle opener?
She's like, why do you want a bottle opener?
Excuse me?
I think she thought we were up to no good.
Yeah, I'm like, no, it's okay. It's 𝗪𝗏𝘁's. And so she gave us she found one.
We promise.
I don't know where, but she got a bottle of it.
She came through.
She came through. And then I open up the 𝗪𝗏𝘁's, and then it goes everywhere. And so she had to go get a rag. We were high maintenance that night.
Sticky awesomeness everywhere.
Yeah. So apologize for that one if this nurse is listening. Okay. Shall we move on? Tip number 5.
Let's do it.
Tip number 5. This is all about staying connected and safe. This is kind of our immunocompromised safety tips. This is such a hard one. because holidays are a time when people connect, when they, are giving hugs and sharing gifts. And there's so much relational togetherness that the holidays are really synonymous with. So
because of that, viruses spread everywhere.
Exactly. Flu and cold season, my friends.
So we're all tucked in together in little houses with each other. And I mean, it's great. Connection's great, but yeah, it does lend itself to communicable diseases having their heyday.
Yes. Yeah. So the goal here is you want to infuse social connection while protecting health, because feelings of isolation and lack of connection can impact your psychological health. And yet, if you are around people and they have COVID or things, that impacts your health. And if you get a respiratory virus, like if Thomas gets a respiratory virus right now, it would be really bad for his little new immune system. It's a sense of loss. So I think that holding space for that grief, and just being like, wow, this is hard. And then you turn this into a challenge. How can we be super creative? How can we have the most fun, but socially distanced? You call them loopholes. We're always looking for loopholes. So Thomas loves Halloween. I think they call them sneaky holidays. This is where, for the holidays, if someone's grieving, people are like, okay, it's Christmas. We're going to check in on our friend who lost their partner or lost their mother. But there's certain holidays Halloween. That's one that for a lot of people, they have happy memories around Halloween. And so it can kind of be a sneaky holiday where people wouldn't expect someone to feel griefy. We call it griefy, like when you're feeling grief. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't expect someone to be griefy on a day like that. But Halloween, that was a holiday Julie loved. And so it was important for us to have that be a day where we knew we were going to feel griefy. So we planned ahead. How can we make it be fun? The challenge was trick-or-treating, not safe. Little kids coming to your door and knocking.
So
probably
adorable.
So adorable.
So adorable. So dangerous.
So dangerous. And so we're like, okay, let's turn this into a challenge. How can we still have this kind of joy? I'll put a video on our YouTube channel. If you're watching this, you can see it. We basically had this little trick-or-treating station. So it was a table right by the sidewalk, and we decorated it with a big Mickey pumpkin and a bowl of candy. And so as kids were walking by with their cute little outfits, we'd say, Happy Halloween. And they would yell trick or treat. We were on our porch. So we were waving at them and they were grabbing their little candy. And so it was so sweet. We got to participate in trick or treating, but in a way that was safe.
And we were on our porch yelling at kids in a good way.
Yes.
This time.
We weren't telling them to stay off our lawn.
Get off those darn skateboards.
We were telling them to get candy. So another thing for Halloween, I know we're way past Halloween, but for those of you who maybe watch this in a year from now, people who are immunocompromised, carving pumpkins, touching dirty things or pumpkins is a no-go. So Target had fake pumpkins that were carvable, which was so neat. So
blew my mind. Yeah.
So we were able to carve pumpkins with my brother and sister-in-law, and they were fake ones, but they're really cool because you can use them every year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They don't grow mold and smell yucky, and no one can throw them at your house. I guess they can. Be very dissatisfying.
We have some trauma regarding this in our pumpkins.
Did someone throw our pumpkin?
You've never had your pumpkin smashed?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of a rite of passage. I definitely have had my pumpkin smashed by kids before. You just take it out in the street in front of your house and just wail on it, and you find it in the morning. Well, maybe we'll experience that sometime in the future.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's think about some more hacks. So FaceTime and Zoom, really great for virtual holiday visits, encouraging people to maybe thematically dress up with you. So, Dollar Tree Santa hats, everyone's wearing a Santa hat or doing something kind of fun like that. If it's a birthday, little birthday hats, or we're really into decorating and dressing up. So maybe that doesn't resonate for you, but certainly any kind of FaceTime or Zoom call can be really neat. You can do virtual games, Jackbox games are really fun. You can do different things where you're still connected and interacting, but it's over Zoom or it's over FaceTime. Some more immunocompromised friendly ideas. You can have a polar porch like we do. This is a designated space where it's outdoors. It's a place where you can kind of safely meet with people, but it's a loophole because you're not inside technically.
We tried to recreate our living room out on our front porch.
Yes.
So that we have a place to socialize with people that we care about.
Definitely.
Because we understand viruses, that sucks, but connection is so huge.
It's a balance
for your immune system and just their overall health. And so we have heaters out there. We have seat heaters. We have standalone heaters. We have hand heaters.
So Costco is going to be your best friend. If you're I cannot be around people because I'm immunocompromised. Maybe you have a little outdoor porch situation where you can, set up some heaters. If you don't, go into Costco or Amazon or a local place. We have chargeable hand heaters that you can, charge up, and they're really nice. We have little, as Thomas mentioned, seat heaters from Amazon. I can put a link in the show notes. So, being able to have these different heat devices where you can still be outside, you can be warm to a certain extent. Now in Bend, it gets very cold. And so we might not be doing this. Our polar porch might not be, taking visitors on the days where it's very cold. But we learned a word recently. This is from Life Kit Health. And their word was friluftliv. I believe it's Norwegian. Thank you. Friluftliv means basically enjoying the outdoors or being in the free air. So as I mentioned earlier, there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. There's something really neat about being outside, even if the weather's horrible, but like it's taking in the fresh air. It's kind of showing how resilient you are too. If it's really bad weather, but I'm all bundled up and I'm just going to go out there and stick it to the man. No, that doesn't make sense.
Stick it to Jack Frost and just do the Norwegian way and bundle up.
And tell your family and friends if they're coming over to your polar porch to dress accordingly.
Yes.
So we have, making a safe outdoor visiting space, having some themed stocking stuffers. Maybe you could give family and friends those little, it's like COVID and test for flu A and B. So they're little, swab yourself.
Gift that keeps on giving.
It is. So yeah, you could give people these little COVID tests. That way they can come visit you and you can feel pretty good knowing that they're healthy-ish, at least for those respiratory viruses. So that can be something that you give to people. Having safety gear, an assortment of colorful N95s or KN95s to match the holiday spirit or to be fun. We have a little basket. And if someone comes over and they didn't bring a mask, we can say, "Ooh, what color would you like?" And we have several masks to choose from. And that kind of makes it fun. You've expressed to me, but you don't want people to have to wear a mask or to have to be outside or to take a COVID test because you love people and you care for them. And it kind of feels like a hassle. And something that my counselor said, shout out to my counselor. She said, when you're in a space like we're in, and we have these different safety regulations we have to abide by, when we share that need to people, hey, we really need you to wear a mask, or as doctor says, you have to take a COVID test, it allows people to shine for you. It allows them to step up, to meet a need, and to feel like, man, I kept Thomas safe. And it gives them a boost because they're showing kindness to you by doing that thing.
Really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. So I think for you and for anyone out there who's immunocompromised and you feel bad about having to ask people to wear a mask or to test, just know that people really want to help. They want to show love. And when they're able to follow these different guidelines or do these different things, they feel good knowing that they were able to show up for you in a way that was safe and in a way that your doctor would be happy about.
Yeah. It's like a little gift to them too,
Yes.
Everybody wins.
Win-win.
Win-win.
All right. Time for a recap.
Let's do it.
Hack number 1 is to decorate your space.
Just make it feel yours, I know that we go all out with all our little decorations for every holiday, but even if it's like a quilt from home or something like that.
Make it yours.
Yeah, just make it yours. Yeah, just try to bring a little of your home with you, and it goes a long way, I think. Second hack is share seasonal treats. Very easy. Humans like sugar.
Yes.
They always have, and they always will. So if you have a bowl of Reese's in your room and you let the nurses know, hey, this is for you guys, you make friends pretty quickly.
I got some healthy-ish things. Like I got some trail mix once for one of our stays or some, nuts and different things. Those were not as popular.
Yeah.
We had a lot of leftover nuts.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Hack number 3, create coziness with ambiance. Have maybe some kind of, winterscape or crackling fireplace on your Apple TV or other streaming device. And also, we didn't mention this previously, but we had little lamps. And it's really neat to have, some kind of cozy lighting like lamps.
I mean, they're literally like 8 inches tall, little lamps.
You can bring those to the hospital, and they have ones that are rechargeable with USB-C charging, or you can do ones that plug in if your hospital allows that.
Or you can sneak it in, but we never told you that.
And we never did that.
Hack number 4 is dress for the occasion. So, like I said, you're in the midst of something very serious, and sometimes it's nice to just not take yourself so seriously. Put on a Christmas sweater. I talked in an interview in another podcast with someone about how I ordered a powdered wig.
Yes.
Just for fun. It was after I lost my hair.
It was not related to a holiday.
It was not related to a holiday.
It was not President's Day.
The occasion was I lost my hair. And dressing for it looked like me getting a powdered wig and dressing up like George Washington.
Yes.
somewhat.
It was
Yeah.
like an inside joke we had from the onset of his cancer diagnosis. When he first got the news that he had leukemia, I was about to collapse like a dying star because I was so distraught. And we're sitting there in the cancer center in Bend, and Thomas says, well, that's okay. The doctor just said you guys are going to need to move up to Portland for treatment. And Thomas said, that's okay, because Portland has a much wider selection of places where you can buy wigs. I think they have a better wig scene up there. And so he's laughing, the doctor's laughing. I didn't think it was so funny in the moment, but that began our quest of, okay, we have to find you a wig at some point.
Yeah.
So,
Man of my word.
man of your word. It was pretty epic. Hack number 5, stay connected and safe. If you are immunocompromised, find ways to connect with other people in a way that your doctor is okay with. So you can have FaceTime or Zoom, maybe have trick-or-treaters, but from a distance, have polar porch or outdoor type visits, maybe give some stocking stuffers of COVID tests and the like, and
Lucky.
have an assortment of colorful 95s, if that is the type of mask that is helpful, and have those on hand and give people the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people are willing to do many things to keep you safe. So whether you're in a hospital room or at home, grieving the loss of a person or the loss of normalcy, remember, you don't have to choose between your health and your joy. You can hold space for both. You can stay safe in different ways. You can give yourself permission to grieve, and you can infuse joy.
Yeah.
It is no bad thing to celebrate the simple life.
Yeah. Bilbo Baggins. Nice.
It's your boy, Bilbo.
Your boy Bilbo.
Anything else, Thomas?
No, I think that's just about all we have to say about that.
We want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas
Merry Christmas.
and Happy Holidays. We hope that you have a week of peace, of joy, social connection, that you feel the love in whatever way is possible for you at this point, and that you just know that you're not alone. You said that before we turned the microphones on. You just want people to know that they're not alone.
So, happy holidays to you, and we'll talk to you next time.
Take care.
Bye.